Hey YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I thought I'd give you 10 investing tips that will help you overcome your fears to investing during these uncertain times of the economic market. Now while you watch the intro video, why not turn that thumbs up icon blue by hitting the like button, as this helps the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video to lots more people. So, while we're here in UK, we're set to see the worst downturn in the UK economy in around 300 years. Now, every investor, like always, hopes that the economy will bounce back once lockdowns get lifted. But we then also live in fear, and so a lot of us choose not to invest at all. So this is why I've decided to put together 10 tips that I use in order to be positioned in the best possible way for the rocky roads ahead of us. Number 1. This is one of the most important factors which I have talked about before in many videos, and that is diversification. Because it just makes sense to not have all of your eggs in one basket. Therefore, if you invest in a wide mix of shares, you will then help to spread the risk of failure. Now obviously this can be done really easily by using ETFs and indexes, but at the same time, if you're investing in individual companies, it's always best to diversify and invest in different sectors. Now number 2, as an investor, you should not forget about a regular saving habit. Now this is something where you can drip feed money into your investments. So at times, you may wish to invest a bit more due to the fact that there's going to be some great opportunities, but at the same time you should also keep a regular deposit on, say, a monthly basis, because of course you don't want to lose too much as and when the markets fall, but at the same time you also don't want to miss out on the market when it rallies up. Now, number 3, during this pandemic a lot of sectors have had a big hit, but at the same time there has been some of them that have thrived, such as technology companies. So for instance, companies like Zoom, Netflix and Amazon have seen their share prices skyrocket due to the fact that families have been stuck at home and have naturally ended up relying on these companies for work and entertainment. So for instance, Zoom has seen an increase of 385% in the last year, and the technology sector is expected to see further growth as many companies have decided to retain the habits that have been adopted in the past few months, as well as the general habits of people being stuck at home. Now of course, as always, you don't have to dive straight in and buy shares in individual companies, but you can also invest into index funds that track certain tech companies only. Now number 4, healthcare. Now healthcare is often deemed to be a sector that is essentially recession proof, especially during a pandemic like this, as they're also expected to see considerable investments over the next decade. This therefore means companies in the pharmaceutical, biotech, medical tech and healthcare services can see increasing gains when other sectors could see decreasing value. And number 5, this comes down to quality control kind of companies. These are companies that provide services such as cleaning products for hotels, restaurants, etc. from a company like Ecolab. Now Ecolab will do great during this time, even when their products seem to be more expensive than the rival companies. But as they are significantly more efficient and effective, people are more likely to buy from them, especially during pandemics like now. Number 6. Now this is another sector that is naturally going to do well when the markets go down, and this is consumer staple products. This is because they will do well irrespective of how the economy is doing, such as food and toiletry items, because companies like Unilever, who own brands like Marmite, Dove soap, Magnum ice creams and many more other brands, are a great company to hold as a safety stock, because these are all products that customers will always still buy no matter what's happening in the markets. Then you have other companies such as drink brands like Diageo, which owns lots of well-known alcoholic brands like Johnny Walker, Smirnoff and lots of others. And again, they're also a wonderful safety net because the stock value will not get affected as much as the deficit of larger bars buying less due to less people going out is countered by consumers buying the bottles directly themselves to consume at home. And number 7, this method comes to play where investors decide to start looking to hold more money in corporate bonds. This is where investors are paid in interest to lend money to companies. Now, the reason why this is a great tip is because in a world where the interest rate is likely to hit rock bottom, a yield of 3.5% begins to look very attractive for those looking to fill in a gap caused due to dividend cuts from other companies that they have possibly invested in. Now, number 8, another recession-safe sector is the infrastructure sector. Reason for this is because typically the projects that the infrastructure sector takes on are very long contracts of possibly 20 years. So it makes sense that infrastructure companies and indexes based around this sector will perform fairly well because most of their projects are still ongoing. Now, number 9, gold. Gold typically performs well during turbulent times. Now, this is usually because gold is not tied to any stock market, and so therefore investors decide to buy more during these times. As we can see in this graph, how gold has currently gone up 30% in the course of this last year. And now finally, number 10, a tip for opting into a one-stop shop multi-asset fund, which ensures diversification, because having a dedicated fund manager would be able to split your money between funds that invest in shares, bonds, cash, and alternate assets such as infrastructure or gold. But at the end of the day, as history tells us, investors should always remember that the markets always recover. And as Warren Buffett has mentioned many times, a novice investor who invests regularly and into ETFs and indexes will come out the best during such uncertain times, compared to a novice investor who would try to time the markets. And statistically, they will not enter and exit at the right times. And essentially, in the long run, the money invested in indexes and ETFs will end up being more than the novice investor who continually sold their investments when the market started to fail and bought again when the market started to go up. Now, this is why I put a fixed amount aside each month to put towards my investment portfolio. Now, as always, with all videos I make like this, I want to remind you that I'm no financial expert and this is just my opinion on what I've talked about today. And before you decide to invest in anything, I would always recommend that you seek professional advice. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'd love to know any other tips that you might have on investing during these uncertain times. So please leave a comment down below. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so you get notified when my next video comes out. And as always, don't forget to like the video, comment down below, and share with your friends and family. See you in the next video. Bye.